Guys, Frontwoods Farmer, welcome back to the channel. Picked up a new tractor today. It's kind of an old one like I used to have. It's an Allis Chalmers B. I don't know a lot about the Allis Chalmers. This tractor I got, here, let me shut it off real quick. Been running for at least 10-15 minutes, if not more. This is an old tractor that I got at a local auction, Kerr's out of Harmony, Pennsylvania. There is a YouTuber, Farmall Fanatics. You could actually watch us bidding on the tractor here. This tractor, I had one that you could, eat off the thing. It was at brand new tires, nut and bolt resto, transmission, engine going through everything, the works, lights. However, I sold it. We didn't have money or a place to store it. And now my son's been really upset, and he actually bought this tractor at 6 years old. This is his first tractor. Me and him plan on doing kind of like a light restoral. I don't know what we're gonna do yet, if we're gonna go really crazy, get new tires and all that. I had an idea that I thought would look good. I don't really know how to do this. I was gonna touch up most of the paint bars, maybe even repaint. And this I was gonna sand down, and I was gonna clear coat everything the way it is, because this is an old restoral. This is real neat. I Googled this Alum Bank Community Fire Company. This is their Exhibitors Festival. Whoever owned this tractor has quite a few of these on it, as you can see. So they must have took it to that Alum Bank, PA show every year. My son's riding with my dad right now, quads and dirt bikes and stuff. So sorry, I got to keep going back to you. But yeah, Alum Bank, PA actually merged, I read, kind of with Pleasantville, PA. Population is like 127. So I thought that was real neat. Like, it was even like, oh, we should take it when we're all done with it to that Exhibitors Festival. I was like, yeah, it'd be cool. Somebody put a new starter on it. One thing I seen that I didn't like was the milky oil. However, it's not losing any antifreeze. The motor sounds great. It's got good pressure. I don't believe it's a head gasket, and I'll tell you why. Nobody tried to cover nothing up. This oil filter hasn't been changed for ages. When I go under here, all this oil is jet black. I think this thing was sitting outside and got something through the air cleaner. I'm hoping. So I'm gonna drain that today, get that going. This tractor has a original plow with it. I didn't pick it up from the auction yet. I did win it. And it has a hydraulic system, which I thought was really awesome. We'll be able to plow with this, use it as a cultivating tractor. It has the side mount cultivators. We got to get the cultivators for the mounts. What else can I tell you about it? Oh, a couple of these. I don't know the Allis is too good, so if you guys could educate me. I love this front end. It's like this cast whooping front end. The newer style I do know has a square tubing. And I figured these were probably from the 50s. But when I read up on these, I think a while back, they say that these Allis Chalmers, this could be like a 1939, pretty old. And I always liked, the big seat. It's comfortable. If you want to ride your kid on it, your girlfriend, whatever, they're real nice to have. What else can I tell you about this? Well, expect more videos, that's for sure. I'm going to try to do a few things on this tractor. 3-speed with reverse. These are nice little tractors. I sold the last one because I thought they were underpowered, but there's a video I also seen on YouTube with these things pulling hay wagons, all kind of stuff. So I don't want to go that far and abuse it, but I think we can use this as a workhorse. So let's get to the oil. Before any oil change, what I do, especially if you want to get all the oil out of this thing, is you want to let it run for a little bit. This thing normally, it fires right up. Runs great. Let that run for 10 or 15 minutes. Never let it run inside a building, but as you can see, everything's well ventilated. I got all my doors open, air blowing. Otherwise, it will hurt you if you leave that going. You won't make it another day, let's just say that. Let this run 15 minutes and then we'll pull the plug. Just got our wrench out. Tell he's excited to change his tractor oil. It's a 1 1/8. Oh, happy Easter, by the way. Today's Easter. Probably not when you're gonna watch the video, but 1 1/8. Get that. I can't film and get this loose, so let me crack that loose and we'll get back to the film. Shouldn't need a breaker bar to get these off, but somebody really tightened this one. Oh,
it's real tight there.
And you just switch to your ratchet. Yeah, it is pretty tight, huh? Like I was just telling him, when you heat up the oil like that, you gotta watch you don't get burnt, because this will burn you pretty bad. Can't wait to see how bad this is.
You can always use it with your hand. You can always do it real fast, and then when it pulls out, go fast.
Yeah, you could. That's all right. That's what we're going to do, actually. Like he said, we're just going to do this real quick.
Look, I'm getting all this rust out.
All right. Another thing we got to do to this tractor is take this inspection plate off.
Why?
And we have to adjust the clutch because it's not wanting to go into gear.
It also has an inspection plate?
Yep.
Right here?
Yep, I'll show you. Just give me a second. Watch. Now you can tell how bad that oil is. It doesn't even look like oil. It's milky. Let me put the camera up to the oil. It's like a chocolate milkshake, if you will. It's disgusting.
We should drink it.
Right here's the oil cap right on top of the tractor. Sometimes if you take that off first, they'll drain a little quicker. That one's pretty vented. Just take your dipstick out. Make sure either if you have a key to take the key out or disconnect the battery so you don't accidentally start it. And then I'm gonna give you the CarQuest filter number. I do not like CarQuest filters, but I plan on changing this oil twice to get all that out. So here is your CarQuest number if you wanna go just down advanced to get it. They say they're a Baldwin filter. There's no way this is a Baldwin filter. We're gonna run Baldwins on the second oil change. Like I was just telling him, we're gonna crack this loose, make sure it's gonna drain okay in there. Make sure it drains all right here. We can probably get it off by hand now. Just a little bit, that's good. Ho, 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 because it's gonna drain. Like I was telling him though earlier, this is most of these old farm tractors take a straight 30 weight non-detergent oil. All we have is 10W30. We're gonna need a couple oil changes, like I said earlier. Get that out. Did they paint that?
Yeah.
So let's get that off.
This one doesn't even have one of them things up there. Or does it? No. Oh, yes, it does.
Just trying to get this all the way off.
Why ain't it coming off?
I don't know, buddy.
No. Exactly. Look at
So
all
I've
that.
never ran into that, so let me take a look and see why that's. Must have some sort of oil system.
How'd they even get that in there?
Might have to try to maybe even get this hood off. This has like an oil fill tube on this. This might even pop up, but I'll start filming whenever I figure out how this one goes. Like I said, I don't know much about the Allis Chalmers. All right, so unfortunately, whenever if I just had 1030, this is a synthetic. I don't think it matters on most cars. Once you put a synthetic in, you're supposed to keep with it. I look over, go on my shelf, I'm like, what the heck, doodle sandwich? Next thing you know, that's is what I have. So we're just gonna use conventional 10W30 and synthetic. Now, when you do these seals, I figured out there's a little pinhole in here, and you just slide it over here, over the rod. So I'm gonna do is you gotta watch you don't get a bunch of dirt in your filters. And normally I'd use the old motor oil for this just to wet the seal, but it's all milky. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit in there and then dip my finger in. And you wanna make sure you get that seal well lubricated, because if you don't, it'll actually leak. And make sure you have the old seal off prior to installation of the new filter. But it's like this, really easy. Put it on as needed. Like that. So get everything you can. And then we'll wipe the filter down when we're done, because you're gonna wanna put the date on this unless you have a logbook for all your equipment. But these don't have an hour meter, so you're just gonna go by date. I like to change mine every 6 months, at least every 6 months to a year. So this is kind of difficult to get in this hole. You gotta kind of look underneath and then move your plug boot around a little bit. It really was a pain to get the old one off. So there we go. It's kind of like that. It's almost on this plug boot. But this is the system that the ACs have. So that's what we're gonna go with. And just as hard as you can, get it hand tight. You're gonna get your filter wrench and you're just gonna go just a hair more. So you just slip this over. A lot of people are gonna say you don't need to do this, but this gives me a peace of mind that it's a little over hand tight. It's not gonna come loose when you're running the tractor. You can't loosen it, that's where you want it. What you're gonna wanna do is clean your dipstick. Don't put it back in a dipstick hole, because when you're putting the oil in, it'll give you a false reading. You pour your oil in, and then you let it settle. So we're gonna start filling it up with oil. And then you're gonna periodically check it. Because again, I'm not quite sure how many quarts of steaks, and I'm still not gonna know because I'm using half used oil containers. Like I said, I'm gonna have to go through a couple oil changes here. You could tell it's more clear, but it still has a like a milky tint to it. You guys could tell. And we're right on full. If I'd have to gauge this, I would say that probably need at least 5 or 6 quarts for this. That's what I'd want to have while doing it. Probably need 4, but to be safe, you know. We're gonna start it up and we'll check it again. I always get in that good habits with tractors, with everything. Turn your gas back on, you always turn it off. It doesn't drain the gas into the oil crankcase like some do. On some tractors, we got our oil fill back on. Everything's out of the way. Everything's tight, nothing's leaking. See if we can get it fired up again. Gonna just let it run for a couple minutes. Let that oil go through the system and run. Like I said, change the rest of the fluids. We're gonna clean out the gas settlement bowl, and then we're gonna change that oil again, maybe even twice. We want it to get real clean. So far, so good. It's really not mixing any worse than it was. So this oil, I think we're good. It's still pretty clear. I let it run for a while. Like I said, it's on the full mark. Didn't lose no antifreeze. I don't know if I'm gonna do it tonight, but the next thing I'm gonna do is probably clean that settlement bowl for the fuel. But I kind of want to drain the whole fuel system, drain the whole tank, put new gas in it. So these old tractors, they actually have what you would consider oil bath, oil filter. So I'm thinking if there's water in this, it's for sure that it definitely had been sitting out. Take this off and then we'll see. This ain't good. The oil in the oil bath filter looks good. I was hoping that it would be milky, and that's why the engine oil might have got milky. So we're gonna have to watch that, but putting a head gasket on this tractor wouldn't be too bad anyway. So just keep an eye on the oil. Hopefully moisture did just get in there. Unless maybe they cracked this open and did change this and didn't get to the oil. We'll see. Right, so kind of good news with this, I guess. I was dripping this in, and there is water in here. I guess that makes sense because oil floats. So maybe that is how the water got into the crankcase, which would mean head gasket's good. So good thing I did empty this out. I wasn't going to because I stuck my finger in it, and it looks really clean. But there's a lot of crud on the bottom, dirt. I'm going to wipe that out, clean that out, and put new oil in and pop that back on. All right, so again, it'll tell you the oil levels here, and you look in the inside, that's where it is. So I got that all cleaned out. I just used some carb cleaner, a rag, and then this won't let you overfill it. See, it'll come out the sides. Just fill up enough like that. You don't want to overfill it. I think that's good. You just come over this way.
Dada,
buddy.
is this for the brakes? I mean the clutch?
Yep. You just come over here and you just put it back up into here. Now I have taken these apart and then just push, you just kind of push these right here and they expand and then they go under. Same thing with this back. You want to pull it down, make sure it ain't coming out. And I've taken these apart, and the only thing in these is like some mesh, like it looks like a Scotch pad and perforated holes in metal. So there's not really as much in here as you would think. And that's pretty much it. So we got the oil change done. We have the oil bath filter reinstalled, and then we'll go on to the gas, the petcock. We'll clean that out in a tank on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Frontless Farmer.